So you probably can't tell because you can't see me and I always talk in the same monotone voice, but I have the biggest, dumbest smile on my face because we are finally making this video, or I am finally making this video. You guys, as much as I love you, you actually don't really help in the video production process, so what am I talking about? Well, today I'm going to be talking about my new obsession, which is Chinese manga. Or Chinese manhwa. I'm going to probably be calling it nothing, but Chinese manga, Chinese manhwa, kind of interchangeable. Now, before we get into that, I realized that I sort of just randomly dumped the whole Squid redemption arc into my last video, so I figured I would explain what I mean by that. Basically, for the next 28 days, or YouTube month cycle, I'm going to be making a video every other day and producing it, and I'm not going to be checking my channel at all. There's no reason for me to do this. I just am. And there's no reason for me to have told you. I just did. So back to my new obsession. This has been a massive time sink for me recently, and the reason for that is there's basically a never-ending supply of this shit. Like, I'm not kidding. There's literally thousands of these series with hundreds of episodes each. I mean, they are just cranking out episodes. It's insane. And they get so many views. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go to some random manga streaming site. You know, don't use this, get your manga legitimately, whatever. But this shows me the views. All of the top series are just dominated by these Chinese manhwas. In fact, out of the top 5, 4 of them fall into this category. And I mean, I just got to ask, who is reading these? How do they have so many views? I mean, we're talking like hundreds of millions of views. I know that I'm reading them, but I'm crazy. Like, I'm definitely an outlier here. Who the hell would read these? And it's mind-blowing. This is such a strange and interesting rabbit hole to have fallen down. And I am sure that you think I was exaggerating when I say that there are literally thousands of series with I mean, there are so many of these that I feel like all of China must be working around the clock collectively to produce these. It is insane how many of these. You can easily, just in, I don't know, 2 or 3 series, you're easily at like 2,000 chapters sometimes. We all read manga, we all watch anime, whatever, and I think something we all like is for everything to be the same. We don't like new things. It's scary, you know, like, why would you want to read a manga where you go into it and you're like, oh, what's this going to be about? Like, what are they going to be doing? What is the world going to be like? What are the characters going to be like? That's really scary, and no one likes experiencing that. So, the good thing about these Chinese mangas is literally no matter what the concept is, it all comes back to cultivation. Now, if you don't know what cultivation is literally one of the funniest things on the planet to me. It is the strangest power system, and yet it is all-encompassing in these Chinese series. I have yet to discover one of these that is in any way action-based that isn't based on cultivation. And it's a very funny power system because, you know, like I said, we don't like shonen. We don't like people training and having near-death experiences and having to get stronger in different ways unique to them. No, what we want is a character to sit in a room by himself and just think really hard, because I want to know that my beautiful baby boy is going to be safe. I don't want to be like, oh, like when I'm watching Ichigo and he's fighting Kenpachi, I'm so scared. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like, oh, what's going to happen to Ichigo? Is getting stronger worth this pain that I'm feeling? No, it's not. What I would much rather watch is someone sit in a strange room and absorb, I don't honestly know, the essence of the world, energy, unknown. Sometimes they absorb a strange artifact, and those are always interesting because it's something weird, like a refinement pot made out of jade and dirt. And, you know, you wouldn't think seeing like a musty-ass pot from 480 years ago, thinking, oh, that's what our main character needs to power up, but surprise, surprise, it always is. Sometimes they take pills, too, and they'll be like, oh, here's this pill, and you're thinking like, oh man, what is this pill going to do? Is this going to give him a temporary boost? And he swallows it, he's like, no, that's a permanent power-up, I'm good. Now, speaking of power-ups, if you thought Dragon Ball got out of hand with power levels and hard to follow, you don't know shit. Just wait until you need to keep track of 45,000 different levels of cultivation, and each one of them has some nonsensical name, the weirdest names humans have ever come up with, and on top of that, they have no meaning. They are completely relative and change all the time. Probably my favorite thing is when there's a fight, these big conflicts that build up, and almost every time something will happen where it goes along the lines of, oh, what, you thought I was at Purple Demon Bone refinement level? You idiot, I was actually at Golden Flame Stinging Sword level all along. Looks like you lose. And this power, another thing about, like, shonen anime, seinen anime, a lot of times it's like, to take it back to Ichigo, he has this power and he's using it to, like, help people and, like, save existence. What? That is so weird. No one wants that. I like how they use the power in cultivation manga, which is batshit insane. I mean, the way people use this power, it's genuinely, it's wild. I have no words to describe it. I mean, I get that there's clearly some big cultural difference here, and I'm not understanding something clearly, but these characters are absolute loose cannons. They will kill people over the slightest wrong, and they will do it in brutal fashion without any hesitation and mercy. And these are supposed to be our heroes, and they're just running around icing people, just massacring families. It's like, oh, you made fun of me 7 years ago? Yeah, I don't think so. Or, God forbid you make a move on their ex. Like, if you date a cultivation main character's ex, like, dude, I hope that was some good pussy, because your entire bloodline is now going to die because of it. Hero main character, by the way. Oh, you bumped into me? I am literally going to decapitate you and present your head to your father while saying that you deserved it, and I will do it to the rest of your family if you don't make it up to me. If your dad does not make it up to me for you bumping into me and me beheading you, everyone else is going with him. Like, Jesus. Another great thing about this is that since there are so many of these, literally thousands, there's a little something for everyone. That's nice because, a lot of times there's, like, niche things, like Gantz. I love Gantz, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. I love Sunken Rock. I love pretty much anything that guy makes. But, those are niche things. I wouldn't recommend them to everyone, but the nice thing is there really is something for everyone. If you want Hunter x Hunter with JoJo stands but made in China by a psychopath, there you go. Ultimate Soldier, there you go. If you want Naruto but you replace chakra with question marks, no problem, bro. We got like 500 of those. Do you like isekai but you hate that it isn't written by an insane person? No problem, buddy. We can shower you in series like that here in Chinese Manga Club. Speaking of insane people, other than me, the translations are quite possibly, without a doubt, the best part of this whole series, this whole genre. I mean, genuinely, some of these translations just get bananas. Like, I mean bananas. Peninis. Wait a minute, what did I just spell? Moving on, I understand that Chinese and English are at times completely incompatible languages, even with the best of translators. But you go onto a site with fan translations and oh boy, are you in for a treat. I'm going to give you guys my personal favorite quote from a nice space cultivation series. And that is, if you are too chicken to do it, then shut your buttholes. Yes, I realize I'm immature for laughing at that. Yes, it has been weeks and every time I see this screenshot, I laugh. But what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do as a human being? How am I supposed to look at that and not laugh every time? In other unrelated news, from now on, whenever I get criticism comments on my channel, I am now going to be responding with a comment that just says, shut your butthole. And if you like one series, like let's say you find a series that you really, really enjoy, let's say it's like Tales of Demons and Gods, Star Martial God Technique, Versatile Mage, God of Martial Arts, Rebirth of the Urban Immortal Cultivator, all of which I've read, by the way, very amazing, very perfect, Martial Peak. Well, guess what? If you find those and you fall in love with them, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter, obviously, it's going to change your life. But good news, there's literally unlimited more just like it. See, again, it comes back to, like, I hate when I find a manga like Hell's Paradise and I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so hauntingly beautiful. This is amazing. It's so unique. I'm never going to find anything like this again. And I'm like, what the heck? I wish every manga was just this over and over and over again. I wish every manga was the same thing, so that way I could just be stuck in this endless loop of emotion over and over again, just feeling the same things, reading the same things over and over again. I hate that Japan doesn't do that. Anyways, all in all, I give every series a 10 out of 10, and I highly recommend you dive into this rabbit hole yourself. I'm not really sure who would have actually watched the video to this point, because I think at the end of the day, this is just going to be a video that is like a random anime clips, because I'm not going to give you guys just a slideshow of random Chinese manga. I can't do that. Well, I suppose I could, but I won't. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to the rest of the Squid Redemption arc, and I hope you guys do as well. And I'll be back with another video the day after tomorrow.